Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about Jonah Hill, the actor, and Sarah Brady, his ex-girlfriend. She outed him in some text saying that he was narcissistic and very misogynistic during the relationship. And he did send a text to her outlining some boundaries for a romantic relationship, and I'm going to read them off here and then talk about it. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch, coffee, or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. Okay, to me, this is one of the most narcissistic and controlling types of behaviors, and he memorialized it in text where she could save it, and she did out it. And a lot of people are saying that it was inappropriate for her to do this, but I'll talk about that later. But I'm going to go ahead and start with just the list of his boundaries, or ultimatums, or whatever you want to call them. But surfing with men. Well, she's a surf instructor, so she's probably going to have a lot of male clients, and there's a lot of men in the surfing world, and so she's going to be around them. So it's going to be really hard for her not to be able to, come in contact with men, in her profession. Boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men. She probably does have some male friends, especially since she's in a field that has a lot of men that, she's just going to come in contact with them all the time to model. Okay, she's a strikingly beautiful woman. She's just got this beautiful face and just a knockout body, and it's part of her livelihood. To post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit. Well, she's a model. She's also a surf instructor, so that kind of goes hand in hand. She's probably going to be wearing a bathing suit in some of these pictures. To post sexual pictures. Well, I do think that there was some that were not, to me, they weren't risque or weren't inappropriate, and I wouldn't call them sexual at all. But I think he was referring to some of her swimsuits that had, I didn't see any that were thongs. I don't know if she did pose in any thongs, but anything that was too revealing, I guess he thinks is a sexual picture. Friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past. That's a little bit, I don't know, to me, it's very controlling. I do see that sometimes in relationships, you do kind of compromise on the friend structure. If there's friends that, they are wild, they are, dragging you down this path. Once you do get involved in relationships, sometimes there is, I think some good in reevaluating some of the friendships that you have. But this sounds like very, more like misogynistic in a way. The way he said this, I think, I just have an issue with the wording of it, but I can maybe understand him saying, I don't want you hanging around with this person because, they may have some inappropriate behaviors or, bad behaviors that he doesn't want her to participate in. And same thing, I think, with a woman would probably, I think that conversation happens in almost every relationship. So that one, it's just the way he worded it, I guess. Okay, and in the bottom, I am not the right partner for you. Well, clearly, yeah, somebody doesn't meet all your requirements that you set forth, then no, that's not the right partner for you. Okay. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support you. Or, all right, he's letting her go with no hard feelings. I guess there's some maturity in that, but these are my boundaries for romantic partnership. Well, they seem like very controlling ultimatums. In order to be in a relationship with me, I'm going to take your livelihood away from you. I'm going to take your financial freedom away from you. And you're going to totally have to depend on me, because that's what it sounded like mostly. And that's what a lot of relationships end up being with, sort of in traditional male-female relationships. The man usually takes more of the financial burden to support both of them. And nowadays, it's financially hard for a man to do that. Unless you are in a field where you do make a lot of money and you can do that, then, you know, you kind of need the woman's consent or her input in that. And to do it with an ultimatum, you know, that kind of blocks people in where, you know, do I have to break up with this person in order to, you know, keep my job? Or if I stay with this person, they're going to financially support me. And, you know, sometimes that's not good enough for women, because the value of a woman now can be measured a lot more than it was traditionally, you know, decades ago. Because a woman can say, I have value, I have potential, I have growth. You know, what are you offering me in return for that? For me to financially just depend on you. And that's a scary thing. Most men would not do that. Most men would not quit their jobs and depend on a woman to support them. And a lot of it, I'm saying, just out of ego and just being a man and those types of feelings. But financially, you know, it probably, you would make less money as a woman trying to support a man, and there's not a lot of households that do that. And if there are stay-at-home dads, which I have no issue with that at all. If you're raising your family, you're taking care of your kids, or you're taking care of the house, if there's an arrangement between you and that person, as long as it's consensual and it's not done under duress, that in order for you to stay in this relationship, you have to do what I say, then, you know, there's different types of arrangements that couples have, and each couple can have their own, I guess, create their own world that they want to live in, with their own rules, their own, I guess, their own environment that they create. But it still, to me, it has to be done without any kind of controlling or any duress type of behavior put upon the one party, the party that is expected not to work, or to be at somebody's beck and call when I need you, be here, do this, do that, you know, take care of the house, take care of the kids, something like that. That needs to be, you know, an agreeable situation. If not, you're always going to have a lot of problems. There's always that balance of power is just always going to be off kilter. And for a woman to totally depend on a man and to just give up her livelihood, give up her financial freedom, that's a hard thing for a lot of women to do. And the first thing that he put on there was, you know, she's a surf instructor. That's her job. Taking that away from her, that's probably one of the worst things. And she's a really pretty woman. The modeling, I'm sure that brought in some money for her. And I saw some of the pictures, and she's just very tall, striking, beautiful woman. And, you know, he should be so lucky. You know, be a little bit more grateful. If you are in the presence of somebody that you really are attracted to, you have this desire to be with them, treat them with respect. Don't just put a bunch of demands on them, like as if you're trying to trap them or keep them in a box. That is not going to, you know, that's not going to work well in a relationship. putting demands and ultimatums on somebody that never works. It never does. Or it always causes tension. It always causes problems later on down the line. Because women, now we're able to assess ourselves, and we do have potential growth, and we do have, financial metrics that we think that we're going to meet, goals and things in our future. And if you want to take that away from us, what are you offering us? What kind of prize are you? We can weigh that now. Should I take this offer from him? Is he really worth what he's offering me? And a lot of men don't think that way. They really don't understand, that it's really hard for women just to give up everything and just to be under your thumb and just agree to everything that you want. If it was vice versa, most men wouldn't do it. They would just walk away immediately. And a lot of women don't do that because still society has this traditional driven type of value for family. And he did put something in some text about if this is something that she wanted about family and children or something like that. I can't remember. He gave her several texts throughout the time period that they were together in the relationship. And to me, I thought, if a woman is going to give up everything, going to give up her job, her financial freedom, her friends, everything, and you're going to start controlling, what she wears, what she looks like, who she can hang out with, whether she even has any friends, that's extremely controlling behavior. And if he doesn't see that, he calls it a boundary. Women give up everything sometimes, and then if the partner cheats, has a child with another woman, financially is irresponsible, there's a lot of things that happen in relationships that, ruin relationships. And to financially protect yourself, one of the best things that you should do is you should always have a prenup. You should have some kind of financial agreement drawn up, especially if they put a demand on you to not perform in your job in a certain capacity that affects your livelihood or completely takes your livelihood away. Now that is what a lot of guys, they think it's like almost like a betrayal, or like, you don't trust me. Well, do you trust women to just give up your entire life and give to them? No, you don't. One of the best things in the world you should do is have a prenup, have some kind of financial counseling before you get married, and don't give everything up. There should be increments of how much you can spend or how much money you're given that is not controlled by this person. It's put into a separate account where they cannot get their hands on it in the event that something catastrophic happens in the relationship, like if they leave you, if they cheat on you. A lot of times in a divorce, and with the one person being the financial breadwinner, the other partner gets left out completely in the cold. They can have all their credit cards cut off, all their bank cards, anything that is a financial instrument cannot be accessed sometimes by that one partner if they do not have any kind of control over it. And that is one of the most demeaning and one of the most controlling things that a person can do to you. And to me, that was the first line of that boundary agreement, was for her to give up her job and her financial freedom. And a lot of people aren't seeing it that way. They're just seeing it that, well, she was this wild person, she hangs around with men, and she probably goes out. The way he worded the text, especially the one at the very bottom with the friends that may have behaviors that are questionable or whatever, he made it sound that way, I think, in a capacity to make her feel a little guilty, or like, well, maybe some of my friends are kind of this way or that way. So I think he used that to his advantage to try to manipulate her in that way. And I just think it is just, I mean, one of the worst things I've ever seen. And he was, I want to say, dumb enough to memorialize it in text. He put a whole bunch of stuff like that in text. And thank goodness he did, you know. And she did not want to bring this out until I don't know what the catalyst was or what was the reason for her to do this. I can't remember really. People criticized her for it, but he did have a child recently with another woman, and I think, I don't know why she did it. There might be a reason. I'm not sure. I just missed if there was a reason why she did it. I don't know why. But I've had somebody do something similar to that. It wasn't a partner, but it was a family member that sent me pages and pages of text of a type of therapy, type of speak. And it was very controlling, very manipulative, and very, you know, like I had betrayed her trust when I discussed it with another party that was also involved, that as if we shouldn't have the ability to compare evidence or the text, you know. And it was pages and pages. And I'm not the kind of person that, you know, if you send me something like that, oh, I'm going to show the whole world. You have no expectation of privacy. When you do something like that, that is extremely controlling, manipulative, there's no contract between you two that, oh, here, I did this to you and I treated you this way and I talked to you this way. Don't show anybody or don't tell anybody. That's, you know, that's even more proof that you're extremely manipulative, controlling, and narcissistic. That you think that you treat somebody in a demeaning way and they have to keep it a secret. Well, no, they don't. You know, so if you're going to do that and have behaviors like that, beware. Especially if you put it in writing, they're probably going to show it to everybody. It's probably going to be proof, you know, yes, this person did treat me this way. And I think a lot of people have an issue with that. Well, you know, if I treat you this way, you should still keep it a secret. It should be between us because we were in a relationship, and that's bull crap, you know. Well, that's what I think about it, and thank you all, and y'all have a good night.